peace, love, and light. It's your Galactical Goddess Kösmïc Khamïllïon, and I'm just doing a little grounding outside, getting back in tune with nature, you know, all that good stuff. Just finished eating my little pomegranate, yada yada yada, deliciousness. So this has been, you know, I like to jump on here organically. Would have liked to do the video a little bit earlier, since I feel that the galaxies were calling me to speak about this subject, because it is clearly an epidemic that's going on in not only my community but society. You know, this is just a societal issue we're dealing with, as it relates to autism, as it relates to ADHD, ODD, obsessive compulsive disorder, oppositional defiance disorder. For about 10 years, I worked with the foster care system. Don't mind me, I'm stretching. I worked with the foster care system, and I worked with children who, you know, not only had I diagnosed, but who had been diagnosed with all these disorders and issues, emotional issues and things of this nature. And the question has never came up, can we cure it? The system that we operate or that we live in, unfortunately, on a certain level, it's ran by an industry where the focus of the children's health is not really important, but the monetary gain is what's most important. And I woke up early this morning with this on my soul. You know, clearly I know God wants me to speak about it, because we don't talk about it, and we're not talking about it. It's not talked about hardly enough, nor are, you know, solutions or people. It doesn't appear that people are interested in seeking deeper solutions sometimes, but not necessarily judging the situation. But it does appear that we can do a lot better for ourselves, for our future generations. And that's kind of why I came up with the self-care challenge, because I do know that anything that's like blatantly obvious in this society that needs to be addressed and it's not being addressed, is because the adults have forgotten to emotionally, mentally, and spiritually check in. And it's kind of like we're in autopilot and allowing the system, allowing, you know, outside energies to lead the next generation, versus us recognizing we play a role. Look at the babies. We play a role in honoring ourselves so that we can show them what it looks like, because they're not listening. They're not listening. You didn't listen. Well, I didn't listen. Hell, I still don't listen. I have to get in there through experience a lot of times. And I learn the hard way sometimes too. It is a lot of learning of the hard way. They enjoying their life. Excited to be out of school. I know I used to be so excited to get out of school, baby, counting down. It's kind of like even at work. Hell, I woke up just to can't wait to get back home from school. Same concept when I ended up working a job. I couldn't wait to get back home. But I'm talking about, you know, those who aspire to live a life with purpose and passion and desire to live a life worth living, and know that we came here for way more than what we've been conditioned to believe we should be here doing. And so the moral of my story is, if you have children with ADHD, bipolar, any of these mental, emotional disorders, I challenge you to start changing foods in your food regimen to foods that focus on, like they call superfoods. Also look into, what is the word? Decalcifying your pineal gland. And I'll put some information up there. For me, I'm the type of person, I don't like to really harp on something, because I know from being in the counseling field, and like I always like to tell people, I'm a retired therapist. I'm a official full-time superhero at the moment. So I just, at this point, I just want to send out empowerment. I want to send out encouragement and let every one of you know who's listening. Thank you for not only visiting my channel. If you're here, then you are here by divine alignment, because I'm a special creature. And I know truth is the only thing that's going to guide us to our purpose for being, and our place which is enjoying the journey, which is the dash, which is everything in between, which is experiencing this place divinely. Decrease the pressure, preferably. What else? The truth of the matter is that many of these disorders, psychological disorders, can be healed holistically, can be healed all naturally. Unfortunately, we've gotten far, far away from that. But the beautiful thing about that is that whenever you're ready to get back on board, to be greater, like tribe ready, you know, you're gonna start to manifest beautiful people. You're gonna start to connect. Once you start and this is just a small example, I used to eat really poorly. And when I started to realize how much my food impacted my emotional state, it encouraged me, it empowered me to challenge myself to eat things that were more from the earth, to do research on things like the pineal gland, which I would have never even felt like or think that I needed to do some research until I got to a place in my life where I was just miserable. And I had to admit that and be honest with myself. And so, of course, the food is not going to change everything, because it really is about changing your thoughts. It really is about changing your thinking habits. It's about acknowledging and reaching a space within yourself that you know you are worthy. You know that you are powerful. You came here to write history. Like, you have a chapter in the Bible. Yeah, he agreed. He's like, you know that's right. You know you better tell him the truth. Ain't nobody speaking truth like Kösmïc. Y'all better listen up. No, but he like, no mock me. I'm not mocking you. But the moral of the story is we better learn to lighten up. We better learn to challenge ourselves to get outside our comfort zones. We better just challenge ourselves to just be greater on so many different multi-dimensional realms, unapologetically. And just know that, you know, whatever your experience, whatever you're going through, when you're ready to change, that thing gonna change. If you're interested in any consultation sessions, DM me. Pretty much I just assist people in turning into their better, greater selves, helping them discover their purpose, in so many different ways. I use a little bit of astrology, and I also, you know, listen to you and see, you know, what frequency you are vibing to, so you can get on your own track. You can create and manifest your own idea of what life and what living is to you. I just assist people in doing that. I don't like to tell people who they need to be or who they should be. I've always been more intuitive, where I just let my emotions guide me and let the energy tell me what needs to be or not be, you know. And you live in a society that is always trying to change you and always trying to tell you how you should feel or be to visually make them feel complete. But the most important thing is you getting inside your soul and understanding that you got to know what's right for you, no matter what. Like, no matter what someone else is doing or said you should be doing, you got to know for you whether that's good for you, and then move on it. Because if you don't have any passion, I can for sure tell you it's gonna be hard and difficult to identify what your purpose is. And so I basically just assist people in healing and nurturing their inner child. And so what better way, you know, I do it. I have to do it. I realize that is one of our cosmic purposes, is to nurture our inner child, to get us closer and closer to identifying what purpose is. Now, all these other things, you know, they'll have to come together. You know, matter of fact, they're already together. We live in the past. We are past, present, and future beings all at the same time. And the challenge is to be present, to be open, to be receptive, to be in our senses, so that we can fully experience this place in this space, and so that we can not only experience it, but master our emotions beautifully while we're experiencing this life, this thing we call life, you know, going back to them words. But get outside your comfort zone, self-challenge. I don't know if y'all been grounding, but still challenge, come through. And don't forget to eat the popcorn on things that, you know, ain't got nothing to do with you. It's going to be a complete distraction if you entertain it. And just stay focused, stay grounded, stay guided, stay grounded and fly at the same time. Have a divine balance of perching and to the bat cave, you know. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I came to chime in. If you're experiencing any of these emotions, depression, or your children, ADHD, things like this, just know that if you ground, if you get to the center inside of yourself and you start asking yourself these questions, you have the answer to these solutions already inside of you. You always did, you always will. Now getting quiet enough to hear it, to where you trust yourself and you're listening. Now that's the challenge. So, self-care challenge 2019 and beyond. Peace on purpose.